session yet, Brian.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Clockwork Nexus and another session of Golden Ghost. Session 6 already. Welcome, everybody. We are missing one. We are down a Tim for now. He will be on later, we hope. We apologize. We're on just a little bit late today. Some of us learned that eating tacos can be messy, and others of us forgot that CST doesn't mean Central Time, but we all got on the same page eventually, messy tacos and all.
I feel like we just
are.
ripped up the pages.
But we are here. Before we get into a little recap, let's go around the table and see everybody, starting with the newest member of the party, known by me as Selkie's husband and nothing more because he had the audacity to shit talk Wisconsin cheese curds.
Wait.
Introduce yourself, asshole.
Was not shit talking Wisconsin cheese curds. I was just saying Wisconsin cheese curds are better in Illinois. Anyway, I am Taryn. I will be playing Chandrian Farseer, Goliath Barbarian Extraordinaire. He who is normally 8 feet tall, but when he gets angry, somehow he starts to appear just a little bit bigger.
Beautiful. And then Miss Selkie.
Hi, I'm Selkie, also known as Tides of Ashling on the Tiki Talkies. I am playing Ellie, a druid with I was going to say pervert in her head, but that's not quite right. Maybe it is just a little bit, but she is never fully dressed without a smile. And yeah, we'll see how today goes.
Seeing as how I voiced the voice in your head, I kind of want to take offense to that. Okay, I'm not perverted. I am just in touch with my totally normal, not at all weird sexuality. All right, next up, our resident curmudgeon, Ken.
Oh, is that me?
That's you.
Oh, I'm still pondering the fact that nobody posted what time tonight's.
Oh, yes, I fucking did.
On in a timely manner, so I could not act accordingly. But I did get on the stream earlier from my car, so I technically was on time.
That's Ken, also known as More Drunken Blade on the TikToks. You can find him over there. He hasn't posted much new stuff, but he is here. He is wearing a wonderful hat. He is completely wrong in the fact that I did not post this in a timely manner. I had it posted, this morning?
The 9th.
The 9th. There we go.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. All right, moving on from old Ken to new Ken.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's good. So I play Ubriel Ferrarius, our resident artillerist artificer. On the TikToks, I am Old School Kenny, although similarly, I am not currently posting a whole lot. A few things for here and there. I've been thinking about posting. Yeah.
I think we're all really good at that. We've all been thinking about posting. And I think that out of this whole group here, especially, I'm pretty sure there is only one that does.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway. Next up, straight out of the closet, Justin, how's it going?
I'm Gale.
just going with it. I love you.
I'm Gale.
Gale, who is currently riding a ship, even if he doesn't know it yet.
And yeah, that's Gale.
That's Gale, the resident cleric. and ship counselor. Though so far he has had nobody booked. But he does have a Chandrian booked for tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. And last but not least, booked.
Yep.
Nice. And he's going on a trip on our favorite rainbow ship. That's wonderful. I'm so happy with that. And last but not least, the only one of us that is active on a regular basis on the TikTok.
Hello, my name is Taylor, also known as Nerdy Pinup Girl on most social media websites, mainly active on the TikToks and Instagram. If you like special effects makeup, cosplay, D&D, smashable monsters, spooky shit, or just some random shit, you should totally give me a follow. Today I am playing the captain of this crew. Unexpected captain, considering she had just lost her adopted father just recently, and she's having to step up, and she's very nervous about it, but she's trying her best. Best friends to Gale, and being the glow buddies of the bunch, and she's currently just feeling a lot of things right now, and it'll buff out.
All right, and I am going to be your DM this evening. I am Big Chief, also known as Big Chief 1387 on the TikToks, but just like most of us, I haven't posted anything in a hot minute because I don't know why, but you know, it's because I don't like posting my thirst traps. I just send them all to each of these guys individually. So, you know, I keep mine, unlike Taylor, I keep mine here. Not on there, but that's okay.
Hey, my greatness is meant to be shared with the world, okay?
That's valid. But who has a recap? Is Ubriel ready for a recap or no? I think Ubriel's just turning into our resident recap guy.
I can recap. That's fine.
Do it up!
We made our way to parts unknown, but in the general direction that we were supposed to go, which is always the best way to go. The way you're supposed to go is the best way. And so we made our way along until bad stuff started happening, i.e., we started to get charmed by sirens, and some of us got awfully close to the edge of the ship. Maybe one of us fell in. I'm not going to say who.
Jumped in, fell in, something. And then we got on shore, chased down some sirens, fought some on the deck. It was great. You know, we all had a good time. And then we discovered that all of our harpy friends were further up in the rocks, and so we assiduously made our way up to find out what the heck was going on around here. And we found a big old harpy lady and all of her friends, and proceeded to lay the smack down upon her, and she did not survive. It was most glorious. And so then we got some good loot, and we are still going to figure out where that's going and who that's going to. We have a quartermaster though, so you know that's their job. Definitely. All right. So we're excited. It's going to be a good night. We get to go back. We get to tell tales of our wonderful deeds, and hopefully become official pirates. So that we can go sail the seven seas with our big old, Jolly Roger flying out. So, there we go. To fill in just a couple details that Ubriel missed, on the way back to the ship, Ellie and Morella decided to take a little just friendly swim, and they found some glowing coral that, despite me talking about it like 5 times, saying that, you know, it's there and that it's getting their attention, that it seems to be pulling their attention, they decided not to go check it out. So I'm sure that there is absolutely nothing important down there. But also, there was a little bit of a moment between Gale and Chandrian that, you know, that's on a slow burn. We'll see where that goes. But on that note, I will ask, because y'all were tasked with finding out what specifically was causing the problems on the Blackwater run from Bashbakra down to Blackwater because there were 3 other ships that went missing. And you guys were asked to find out their fate and find out what was going on and bring proof back that you have taken care of whatever that problem is. Did anybody, and I'm fine retconning this, did anybody who would have taken charge of collecting whatever you guys would have to bring back as proof? And let me know what that would be that you'd be bringing.
I can grab some harpy feathers and talons. I'll go with that.
Okay.
Maybe
No,
a crest feather from the big one. I don't know. Camera? Yeah.
Morel, what you got?
Didn't Eric bring back eggs? He was going to make us an omelet.
Oh, he did. He did grab up all the eggs, so that's a
One of
thing.
those would be good proof.
All right. So we will say that you guys have a bunch of feathers, a bunch of talons, and a bunch of eggs.
Might I also suggest possibly severing or taking a beak as well of the larger harpy, if that is at all possible, just to pretty much prove that like the main fucking
The big
issue
one.
has been taken care of.
So
Do I have
are-
to go all the
If there's
way to
any
Blackwater?
also if there are any emblems for any ships or anything, we keep a lookout for that too.
Okay.
Sorry,
So-
Morel, what were you
Didn't one of them die on the deck?
saying?
Oh,
Mhm.
a harpy did, yeah.
Split in
So-
half. Yeah.
So
And got eaten.
can we just like put them in a basket?
Ellie,
yeah,
Ellie
Ellie
ate
ate them, so at least we
Yeah.
have,
Ellie ate
unless Ellie eats bones.
them.
I was
Maybe
gonna
Ellie
say,
spit out a pellet.
give it a couple days, and you might have something. But Ellie might be taking some damage.
So do we need to go all
Very
the
hard.
way to Blackwater to make sure there's nothing else in the way? Or not?
I would say if Ubriel asked that question, Morella would want to be thorough. Not because one, she knows that those fucking 2 fuckers on that fucking council are going to make this as difficult as possible. She wants to make sure all ground is covered and all threats are taken care of, as well as seeing if she can find any remnants of these ships or anything like that. They haven't seen any of these missing ships yet, or really any of the crewmen. So until like those are found and confirmed and the threat has been completely neutralized, Morella is going to wanting to continue on to Blackwater. She's going to thoroughly cover her fucking shit.
All right. So you guys collect what you said that you guys were collecting. You guys do what you can to preserve the remnants of the harpy that is on the deck, because Ellie ate most of it. I'll say it that way. But the big guy isn't exactly the cleanest of eaters. But hey, if you're doing it right, it gets a little messy when you eat. So
Maybe like the beak is like really pinchy and he just like burps up the beak or something.
Bones and all.
bones and all. Anyway, so you guys are deciding to sail on towards Blackwater to double check that. So you guys get underway. You guys guess that you probably would have another day and a half, 2 days to sail to Blackwater if everything goes well. So you guys get underway, we'll say that. But there is, I know one person that messaged me and said that they wanted to have a conversation with somebody anyway. So we'll say after you guys kind of settle in, Morella is up in her office. Morel is doing what he does. Ubriel back down in his workshop. Gail, did I already say in his office? I might have said that. Chandrian,
Have we had a long rest, sir?
you guys would at this point, yeah. I do believe Chandrian got voted in as part of the group. Did they make him the bosun? Is that official? Okay, then you come down to your little like bunk and stuff where you're kind of just in the middle of the entire room, and you like go there and you don't find your stuff. Like it's just gone.
Chandrian would be very concerned at that. He would probably, not wanting to bug the captain, just try and capture the attention of somebody in the party and just ask where his stuff might have gone.
Morel, would you tell him that he now has the bosun's cabin, since that's what he is?
Well, to be quite frank, I was getting to that, but the voices in my head are speaking again, so I wasn't able to do that. So, you've been graciously invited to join our party, so we thought that the best thing we could do for you was to give you a better accommodation, set you apart from the rest. It seems that Morella has taken upon herself to make you the bosun. I could really give a shit what you're doing here. You're the biggest motherfucker I've ever seen, with the balls hanging low, so other than that, we'll be good to go. As long as you keep them tightly strapped to your left leg at all times, I think we should be fine. I want to let you know, as bosun, there is a manifest with information about all the different individuals that are helping us aboard ship, including their names. Basically, everybody is somehow under your control in some way, shape, or form. There are individuals that will be helping out other members of the crew. But if they're not doing what you want them to do, if they're human, we could probably cook them. If they're anything else, elves are kind of sweet-meated, but toss the rest overboard.
You very much did not have to do this, but thank you. I will endeavor to learn my new role to the best of my abilities.
Well, at some point in time, we'll, whenever the captain gets out, or you could talk to Ellie. She might have the actual. I can't seem to find where I pinned it. I know I pinned it somewhere, but I'm not sure where it got pinned. The duties of the bosun, but wherever they're pinned at, I'm sure that somebody will let you know where they're pinned.
That's fantastic. All
probably,
right. Yes, we will.
Probably pinned on a message board somewhere that I can't access.
It is. It is. Your ship has a message board somewhere that the duties are all pinned to that because y'all are learning. It's a little cork board. But Gail,
yeah,
you are sitting there in your office, minding your own business, when you hear a hesitant knock.
Come in.
Take it away, Selkie. It's your show.
Ellie is going to sort of rush in the room and shut the door behind her and start pacing. And you've noticed that she has the piece of coral that Marla gave her. She's sort of pacing around in circles by the door. Can I talk to you? Because I feel like if I don't talk to him, he's gonna be really annoying about it, and I don't really know who else to talk to about it. But this is like sworn to secrecy. Yes.
Yeah, everything we say here stays here unless you say that you want something said for you.
Okay. Do you have to sit? And just sort of like, I'm assuming there's a chair on the other side of the desk, but she's like not sitting.
There's
just,
like
pulls it out and then
the
does
therapy
it.
couch or a chair, whatever one you
again.
can do.
No, she just stands. She's just standing
Or you
and
can
pacing in
pace.
circles.
Pacing is a fair option.
Okay, so you know Marilla, yes, she's beautiful, she's amazing. But I sort of lied before. You may have noticed me looking at her. You're very perceptive to things obviously. But I feel guilty because there's something happening here, and when I look at her, I get flushed, and I feel bad because my husband died, and I haven't let myself actually feel that yet. But now I have these new feelings for her, and I don't know what to do about that.
So it sounds like you have a crush. And
Yes.
feelings like that are completely natural. You don't need to feel guilty about developing feelings after your husband died. Obviously, if you do feel like you need to let something go, you can remember how you wrote a message in a bottle last time?
She would nod.
You can do something like that as a way to, like, you know, write him a letter, and release that guilt. You're allowed to move on. And he would want you to be happy.
She would just sort of sit cross-legged on the floor and nod. Okay. Okay. Thank you. And then she's just gonna very awkwardly like leave.
Looks around. She didn't even take the full hour. What am I supposed to do now? And he goes back to his desk.
So, Ellie, where are you going now? What is Ellie doing?
She would probably sort of rush to her room and for the rest of the night just have conversations with her little spirit buddy. Happy now? And like ask him stories about her great grandfather and, you know.
I'm hungry.
Okay. And she would meander into the kitchen.
I can smell the kitty cats wandering around. They smell very tasty.
You know, if you're not careful, I'm going to turn you into a cat.
You can't turn me into a cat.
Technically, can't I? Because if I turn into a cat myself, then aren't you a cat?
Why don't you try it?
Okay, she would.
Okay, so she turns into a cat, which is one of the ones that you can do without expending an actual use of your wild shape. It's just poof, you're a cat. And if you choose to give the reins over to the big guy, he still bamps out into the full big guy. Like he's there and he's like, see, I told you. Now, where's the kitty?
Would you settle for chickens instead?
That's a lot of feathers. And we just ate poultry.
Well, I can pluck the feathers.
But I want to eat the pussy. Cat.
Nope. The chef will get mad.
There's some people that would prefer that you do that, you know.
Why?
I don't know. Because they're generous. Because foreplay is important, that's why.
Ellie's just gonna like shake her head. I'll go get you some chicken eggs or something.
Okay. So, as you go out of your room to head towards the galley, you knock into a familiar scimitar that you have just posted up on your bed, and you kind of knock it over, and it's just kind of clanging to the floor.
She would pick it up.
So, as you pick it up, you just get this vision of your husband. And kind of very, even though it never happened in the book, so it's completely a fiction of the movie, Barry, Aragorn, and wow, why can't I remember her name? Liv Tyler, her character from Lord of the Rings. I'm blanking on her name. Eowyn?
Smash.
Yeah. Kind of like that moment where you kind of feel like it is in a happy little dreamscape right now. And you're just kind of whisked away to this moment where you're just sitting out on the deck, curled up with him in a hammock. You feel his warmth under you. What do you do in that moment?
She would settle into it for a moment. Like sort of get all cuddled up with him a little bit. And then very slowly realize that she was crying and just sort of wipe her eyes.
And you can feel like his fingers running through your hair. And why do you cry, love?
I miss you. And I feel bad for having feelings for somebody else so soon.
The man that you loved would want you to be happy. You know that.
I suppose that's true. Is he okay right now?
His spirit has sailed to the beyond. I can say that much. If your heart pulls you to another, you should trust it. For what's coming, you're going to need it. You're going to need the love and the support that you can get.
I will keep that very close. Thank you.
You're going to want to hold on to this memory of him.
Any particular reason why?
I am sorry. And you get this kind of vision of when Morella and you just sent him floating out into the seas. And you get this vision of kind of this ethereal spirit leaving his body, but you see his body just kind of floating there, and then you see a pale, ghostly ship kind of emerging from under the waves. And you see a half dead and half alive looking captain, the taut skin, the barely there beard that's kind of patchy, falling apart. The one eye that's just kind of sitting there glowing, and you see him just kind of he like motions his hand like this, and you see the body of your husband rise up and kind of float to him, arms out, just kind of like limp. And you see this captain just kind of touch him right on the forehead. And you watch your husband's body just twist and contort, and you see that decades of decay happen in a matter of seconds before he turns around with his, just the decayed skin and all that, and he kind of looks at you with the kind of glossed over, kind of just dead eyes, and he just kind of looking at you, and he just says, "See you soon." And your vision stops, and you are in your bed. You're just laying there, your tears still streaking down your face. What do you do in that moment?
She would sit up, probably hyperventilate for about 5 minutes. And then she would take his scimitar and actually try to attune to it.
Okay.
Um,
Beautiful.
then she would actually go get food for her buddy
Okay.
and wait until the
There's
next
3
morning
cats
or
right
anything.
there. There's
No.
3 cats right there. He
You just
won't miss
grip herself
one.
on the nose. Like a bat. Like, no.
So, Morella,
Meow.
in that moment, you have a mad echo going on. There we go. In that moment, because you are so attuned with your ship and the way you took possession of it, you feel a great anxiety from somebody, a great sense of peace for a moment, and then just this overwhelming sadness mixed with anxiety. Do you do anything with that information, or do you just kind of sit back and feel the feelings? And
I will say, like, considering, like, can she tell where it's coming from, or is it just like a call from something, but like no
well, you
color?
feel it. You can try. I mean, there is no direct caller ID saying this Simmons upset. But you haven't thus far. You haven't really tried to lean more into it, to feel it, to see what the ship will tell you or where it will take you. So it's kind of up to you how you respond to it.
I will say, like, upon feeling like this kind of anxiety and understanding that she is connected to this ship, she will probably, like, for a minute, she'll try to avoid it. Maybe she thinks it's just like some basic anxiety from all that's happened today. And she's going through her papers and it just keeps building and building in her chest. And she just gets this sense something is wrong. And she will probably just kind of go out of her quarters, start kind of walking around,
Okay.
taking in,
So-
seeing if there's any threats first and foremost.
So as you take a step out of your room onto the deck, make a dexterity save.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. That's a 10 plus 4 for a 14.
So 14, you end up falling just face first right into an Ellie that is walking on her way to the galley, and all of a sudden, in another familiar stuff, Ellie, your arms are now full of Morella. As you kind of look up, and you guys are like that close, face to face, like your noses almost touching.
Ellie's just gonna look up at her. You know, you're really supposed to have better sea legs than this, aren't you?
I'm sorry. I seemed very little bit distracted. Is you okay? Where's you going? What's going on? Just something just feels off. Sorry. And she's gonna kind of like her hands are like on Ellie's shoulders, and she just kind of like sits there. She goes and like brushes her off. And
all without moving from like this far away from each other. Like this conversation just right there.
The whole
That's
time
wonderful.
you see Morella's face go like this deep purple, like, and she's just kind of like trying to keep like a serious captain face, and she's like, is you okay? Do you need something? Is anything weird going on the ship? I feel this sense of anxiety I can't seem to shake off.
Ellie, you would notice her face is very distraught. She would sort of look at you a little bit and like she's got like maybe a little bit of a smile going on because like you make her feel a little bit better even though you like fell on her. She would offer Morella a hand. Shall we go for a walk? Just maybe not you know, she just sort of looks up at her like, maybe we should talk like this.
Like, I'm not getting flustered. It's so adorable. Okay. All right. Morella's just gonna kind of like, as Ellie takes her hand, she kind of sits there. She like kind of blinks a few times, and her face just kind of goes a bit like darker shade of purple for a moment. She goes, "Yes, I just need some air.
Ellie.
I've been in the office too long."
Ellie,
Mm-hmm.
make a
Oh no.
wisdom saving throw with disadvantage in this moment.
Oh.
Hard to give her.
That one.
Okay. So you hear a familiar voice. I swear this is for your own good. And you feel your face move forward, and just on the cheek, you just give her a light peck on the cheek.
Morella just kind of like sits there and just blinks for a second. She turns to Ellie. She goes, "Did you
Oh,
trip?
shit, sorry.
Are you okay?"
I'm sorry. I read.
Oh my God!
You know what, Pen? You're getting inspiration for that, sir. Give yourself inspiration. That's good. I like that.
Oh my God! Like Morella, she's gonna look like really confused. And she's gonna like be sitting there thinking, she's like, "Did that just happen? Did that just happen? What?" And she's gonna kind of like look at Ellie like a touch confused. She goes, "Maybe you're the one who is struggling with your sea legs. Did you trip just now?" And she's gonna kind of like put her hand on her back as well, just to like steady her.
Ellie, you feel your head. You feel your head just. Nope.
No.
And you hear the big guy just kind of sitting there like, I told you, this is for your own good and my amusement.
Morella just kind of like give Ellie's hand a squeeze, and she just kind of calms down a bit, and she just kind of takes a deep breath. She goes, "Maybe we should both just go out for a walk. Perhaps we both need to get some air."
That would be good. Yes.
And she will start walking to the deck, making sure she has her dress straightened out, presentable for appearing on the deck. But just before walking onto the deck, she will just kind of like glance over at Ellie for a moment, and she will slowly let her hand slip from hers to keep professionalism in the workplace. And also, she's not quite sure what's going on.
I mean, Ellie's not either. It's fine.
What is happening? But she will then kind of make her way onto the dock, and she'll just turn to her. She goes, "You know that coral that I gave you? If you'd like me to, I would happily make it into some jewelry for you if you'd like."
I was actually just thinking that, and she'll sort of point to her necklace and then her beads on her wrist. It would match really well, actually.
And Morella, she'll kind of like shake her hips a bit, and you'll hear like the jingle of seashells like coming off of her, the jingle of the bells that are on her ankles. And she goes, "Well, I can definitely say I very much like your choice of accessories."
You see her blushing just a little bit, and then she would sort of shake it off. Anyway, more important things, and she would put her hand on her heart. I think there's a ship we need to be worried about, and I think when it comes, I'm going to need you and our crew, our the important ones. And she's very like frustrated. She's like stuttering, trying to find the right words.
A ship? What do you mean? Did you see something, or what exactly do you mean by that? Are you talking about the ships that have gone missing?
She sort of tilts her head. Do you ever have dreams or visions at all? It's never happened to me before, so I'm not really sure how much credit we can give it.
Has Marilla ever had dreams or visions?
Yes.
She kind of sits for a second.
You have conversed with the captain multiple
Okay, yeah,
times.
actually, okay, so this is perfect. Okay. Morella kind of like a bit of sadness crosses her face for a minute. She goes, I still see my papa, the captain. He's visited me quite a few times. He was the one who told me where to find this contract and gave me the ship. I believe it was his final words of his spirit before he passed on. But yeah, I've definitely been having visions since the recent events. Have you been having any?
She would nod. Today was the first time it happened.
You get a quick flash of that skeletal, decayed zombie version of your hubby.
Smash.
And you would see Ellie's face go sort of really, really pale blue. It's almost like the life has been sucked out of her for a minute while she's thinking about it. Calro, his spirit seems to be safe. Yes, but his body, not so much. I saw him get taken onto a ship, and all of a sudden his body seemed to decay in a matter of seconds. But it wasn't him, and I'm not sure when it will see it. I'm not sure where it is. Nothing looked familiar about it. It didn't sit well with me.
Brian, since I'm a bard and I hear a lot of stories in my lifetime, may I roll a history check on with advantage to see if there are any stories or tales of anything that Ellie is describing?
Go for it.
Yay! Okay. History check. Where is it? H-I-J.
As you are figuring that out, Morel, can you just tell me where on the ship you are in this moment?
What time of the day is it?
It's night currently. It's not midnight yet. I'd say it's probably like 9. Let's go 9:30.
Oh, I've been in bed since
Since 4.
He had his early dinner.
His early bird special.
And went to bed.
All right.
His knees are feeling it.
Roll for pants?
Roll for pants.
Right. That's the wrong character. All right. So, what was that history check?
That was a 23, good sir.
Okay. So, as you're sitting there trying to think of something, and this is where I'm going to challenge you, and we're probably going to have to do something else as you go looking for it. You start to remember a certain sea shanty that you said that you were going to help KJ record and never did because you hate me.
He's never contacted me. KJ has also been busy.
Well, both of you suck. So,
Bitch, I got things to do.
I know, and the song was supposed to be one of them, but I'm just not important. It's okay. It's fine. But no, seriously, you remember the Blackheart's sea shanty. So that is the only thing that comes swimming into your head, and you don't know exactly why, but
she'll just kind of sit there and hum a bit of the. I don't remember the melody at the top of my head. I will have to, but you'd kind of hear her just very gently hum this sea shanty as she's just thinking over how Ellie has explained these events, and she's like, for some reason, it just sounds strangely familiar, but I'm not sure if it should be something we should look out for or we should be wary of. Perhaps, do you know any directions of which this ship is?
I don't think she saw anything directional wise or like any landmarks in the vision, did she? No. She would just sort of shake her head no. You could kind of see tears welling up in her eyes, like she's very miserable thinking about it.
Morella like immediately pulls out her silk handkerchief and she just starts dabbing her tears. She goes, "Look, if take a deep breath, it will be okay. So you have an image of this ship, perhaps. If you ever see it, or if we ever find it on the horizon or on our way to Blackwaters, then make sure you point it out immediately. What all is about this ship? Was there any fun on it, or aside from your husband, did you see any? What the crew looked like? Any markers? Brian.
Ellie, you would remember that you saw this captain type figure that just seemed to like emerge out of the deck of the ship. And you would remember that he walked with a peg leg and that one of his eyes was missing, the other was covered by a eye patch. So you only see the one glowing eye.
Like the guy who was in like below the deck that the captain had to face. Oh shit.
Maybe.
Ellie would describe that to you, though.
You kind of like would she like okay, like she kind of like sits there, her mind stirs for her, and as she kind of flashes back to the time where like the whole ship is on fire, street sharks, Morel is trying to get her out of there, and she remembers seeing like this ghostly figure, and she just kind of shudders for a minute, and she goes, "Something tells me that what attacked our ship and killed our captain is still chasing us to this day. We should keep a lookout for it.
No.
I will make sure you notify Morale and the rest of the crew of this. We should keep an eye out for this ship at all times. And if there are any signs of the description of the captain or the ghostly captain of which you mentioned, then we shall proceed with caution. Perhaps we might see something on our way to Blackwater."
She would just sort of nod. Are you hungry at all?
Yeah, she is. I mean,
Morella, she kind of like dabs the last of her tears from her face, and she puts her handkerchief back up, and she starts to, but then she kind of pulls out and she goes, I think you might need this more than me. And she'll just kind of gently put it in the strap of her. And she will then just kind of nudge, because I very much could eat. I'm absolutely starving. And personally, I think fried chicken sounds very good right now. And she will kind of motion towards the kitchen. She goes, "Shall we?" And
she's asking you to dinner. This is a good thing.
You would see Ellie just sort of like shake her head, like, "Get out of here. It's a private moment, dude." And then she would just sort of walk and follow you.
And then we'll go have food together. Girl dinner! Girl dinner!
All right.
Girl dinner.
Hey. All right. So you guys go and you guys enjoy a nice meal together. And because he's not here to dispute, I will say that Eric, even feeling a certain... Wait, I gotta roll for it. Does he feel it? Yes, he does. Feeling just a little certain something. He kind of brings you guys out a nice, like, hearty red wine that you can tell was, like, aged perfectly. It's a little stronger than most wine, but, you know, he just kind of comes out and pours you guys both, like, you see him kind of get to the normal glass of wine level, and then he kind of just goes about half a glass further and is like, "Yep, there you go." And kind of does that with both of you and just kind of like...
Is this motherfucker trying to get us drunk?
He's just pouring wine.
Yo, Keith. What?
So to bring this to a conclusion, after Ellie, I'm gonna let you do this. Roll me a d4. That F deck though. That's funny. A 3. So after 3 very sizable glasses of wine each, you guys are. I need both of you to roll a con save with disadvantage.
Oh God. Fucking trying to get us drunk.
17.
A 9.
So both of you are pretty lit up. One of you more than the other.
You see Morella just like purple in the face. She is just like swaying, holding her wine glass against her. And she's just like, and since this one time, Gal and I, we snuck into the back of a tavern and we took 12 pounds of meat. And then we tied it to dogs and ran them through the city to get the rats out. And she is just like going on about like silly tales, and like in between you just kind of hear her just like humming to herself as she is just swaying, just humming sea shanties.
Ellie's just sitting there, like glass of wine with one hand and her hand on her head, like, aw, just listening, taking it everywhere.
Taylor, I sent you a message.
Oh dear God.
Quietly now. As Eric kind of brings out the bottle of wine again and just kind of like looks at you, Ellie, like, like another one? Sure.
She would just sort of wave her hand,
Oh,
like,
okay.
maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe
Okay.
not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. No.
Morella is like, she's just kind of like, I will finish this glass first, and then she'll just kind of continue sipping. Fuckery's afoot. Do you hear that?
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
I'm playing this moment. I think I'm playing this moment right. If not, take it where you will.
No, I got this.
Okay.
Morella just kind of sits there, like just looking at Ellie, just kind of sitting there here like this, and Morella just kind of like, she also like leans her elbow on the table, and she's just kind of like, I feel like we should definitely drink some more. Not like right now. I'm talking like another time. I forgot how long it's been since I had this much fun. And she'll kind of like sway a moment. Her head will kind of knock against Ellie's for a second. And she'll kind of like sit there in a daze. You see her, she just kind of locks eyes with you for a moment. She hesitates before she leans in, and then she kind of, you see her stop herself for just a moment as she then kind of reaches up, and she just kind of wipes a little bit of food from the corner of your mouth, and she goes, do you have something like that? And she will kind of then sway back and like fall back into her chair. I love this wine.
Ellie's just gonna sort of lean in. Should I go finish your wine, and then you should sleep.
So maybe I could take a small bit of the naps. You learn charts. And she will go and try to sit up, and she goes, eyes will gets, and she immediately just kind of like wraps her arms around Ellie and just is hanging on her, and she goes, I think I'm gonna need some help in my Zoom. And she's not realizing it at this point, but her face is just probably like full on. Hold on. Give me a moment. Let me roll for this. Yeah, her face is full on just like on Ellie's chest, just being like, it's so soft.
Ellie, if she's able to, she'll help prop Morella up and then very carefully put the wine glass down and just sort of walk to your room
Okay.
and get you tucked in.
Captain's orders.
Oh shit! That
No,
can be taken a lot of ways. Moving on. So where we'll end their little interaction, I will say that Morel, as you are coming out for the morning shift, because they drank well into the morning, and as we all know, old people wake up early. So with the sun just cresting over the horizon, the very earliest signs of sunrise. So not even the sun cresting over the horizon yet, just the dark blues kind of fading to the pale blue to the kind of deep orange color. When you walk up, you just see Morella's door closing, and that's all you see. You don't see who went in there, so you can make the assumption that it's Morella, but that door is closing, and nobody comes back out. Just say it that way. It's okay, they're having a slumber party. But the deck is yours. What are you doing with your time? What is Morel's morning looking like as you are walking out on the deck and approaching the day? How do you get the crew ready? What are you doing?
The first thing I do when I get up is I'm going to feed Krabby, give him a
Okay.
little snack, attach Krabby to my shoulder, and as I walk out and see the door close, I turn to the crew. So, what you may have experienced is some ungodly, undivine spell or curse that's been unfortunately perpetrated on our captain. So for the rest of you out here, let's see, there's 19 to 22 of you out here currently. What I would like you to do is to keep that in mind. That if you don't obey the orders of the bosun, myself, and other members, you'll quickly be dealt with in the most severe, punishing manner. No, I just jest. I'm only kidding. They're probably getting it on in there and having some hanky-panky. But don't worry about it. I'm hoping that I had requested some cookies to be made. This is the jolly side of me, so fucking bear with it.
He's in the fucking happy side.
Hey, you little puke sack with your hand in the bucket over there.
What?
Stand the fuck up. Oh, you are standing up. Oh,
Yes!
Jesus Christ.
This is as tall as I get. You see a little kobold that's just like this far from the top of the railing. Like,
Well, I had requested some cookies to be made this morning. Hopefully they are free of cat hair. I'm getting quite disgusted with all the fucking cat hair and dander that's fucking infesting our food. But nevertheless, has anybody seen Chandrian this morning?
who? Chandrian.
Chandrian?
Chandrian would have probably by habit been down below decks where his former charge was. Chandrian, what are you doing?
I mean, we also hadn't discussed like shift work, but Chandrian would have been thoroughly getting invested in his role as the bosun. He would have been walking through all of the decks, checking for any cracks, leaks, damage to the ship. Would also have been trying to get to know who's on what shift to get an idea of the personalities and everything that's going on at that point in time. So he wouldn't be up on the deck. He would probably be below decks, going through like all of his thorough inspections.
Oh, you there, funny looking human boy, to come here for a moment. I want you to go find the one you know as balls hung low, and I want you to make sure that you let him know that
Yeah.
he is to report to Ubriel. Ubriel had previously been doing the bosun's work and all of the other work that he does. Maybe they could get together and discuss how they're going to maintain the ship properly. And then also pass on that Ubriel does have a couple of individuals that work for him. Maybe Chandrian should be introduced to them so that he does not have too many things taxing his day. But other than that, I think I'm going to have a warm bowl of oatmeal, some dry toast, a half a cup of coffee, and possibly a small glass of juice, orange juice. I'm not sure if we have oranges on the boat, but if we don't, I will pretend that we do. Since I
No
cannot seem
oranges,
to
just prunes.
Anyway, the prune juice will be just fine, but that's typically in the evening with warm milk to help my digestion. But nevertheless, the voices in my head are getting to me, so maybe I should go see Gale. But by the time I get down to Gale, you go. Boy, go.
Yes, sir. And he scampers off, and as you're going down or heading over towards Gale, you do see somebody coming up, sent by Eric with a big box full of cookies. Your cookies that you are there. You go, Eric. Never mind. Eric comes walking up with a big ass box full of cookies. Welcome, Tim.
Hello. I am sorry
You
I'm
missed
late, but
the
I'm here
best
now.
scenes ever.
Of course I did. That's how it works.
Drunk and making out is fun.
Oh,
Just kidding.
God.
That didn't happen.
It's the love boat. It's the love boat. What can I say?
Eric, the next time we make port, can you make sure that we get some grapefruit and some orange juice, please?
Absolutely. I will put that on the list. I thought we had a supply of citrus, but maybe
Well,
someone snatched
Acco-
it.
According to some voice that rained through my brain in an untimely manner, it said that we did only have prune juice or prunes. I find that highly unlikely, given the fact we only left port a few days ago. But nevertheless, I will need grapefruit in the morning. Apparently, that is what I'm supposed to eat, given my age. It's kind of funny because I'm only 53 in this scenario in which you and I are talking on, and I'm deemed the most elderly of the group. I feel that it is unfortunate, but the fact still remains. Respect your elders and don't fuck up. Keep the cat hair out of the cookies and make sure everyone gets a full cookie this time.
The cats know better. They are becoming well trained to the ways of the galley.
Well, I mean, we went from 14 to 7, so that's okay.
Morel, before you head over to Gale's, give me a perception check real quick.
$23.
23. All right. So you kind of, as you glance over towards the changing colors of the sunrise, against a kind of small outcropping of rocks, you do notice a figure kind of jutting out of the rocks in an odd shape, and you do notice the distinct flapping of a flag in the wind.
Eric, we may need to take a little bit of time for those cookies. But the fact remains is that I keep saying the fact remains. I don't know why. It goes through every sentence in which I have. Maybe it's the only intelligent thing I have to say. But I would quietly get all of the officers on deck. Don't alarm the crew, but make them ready. I feel that there's something afoot, and I kind of motion over towards that area in which I just saw it.
Eric will nonchalantly look the same direction, and then I will make a special cookie delivery to each of the officers and tell them to come to the deck for a cookie party. Officers only.
Cookie party. We'll call this Operation Cookie Monster.
I like it.
I'm gonna make my way straight up to the automaton known as Gale Jr.
Brick. But okay. So Eric, you go to Chandrian's room, to Ubriel, to Gale. You get them. You go to Ellie's room, and you knock. Nobody answers. Knock again. No answer.
I will knock a third time, more aggressively.
Still no answer.
Not to bother you, but we do have a officers cookie party, and I am saying that in air quotes. As I knock on the door once more.
Still no answer.
I'm gonna try the door and see if it's locked.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh my god! I'm sorry.
That was
Fucking
fantastic.
10 is okay.
That was
Just
fantastic.
to remind you guys, I believe in banking inspiration up to 3 each. 10, you can take another one because that was fucking great. All right. So I will say that it doesn't answer. She doesn't answer again. Do you just walk away, or do you feel the urge to check the room?
I do believe it's important. So,
Okay.
Eric, I'm going to announce I will avert my eyes, but I am going to come in. This is important. And he will, in fact, avert his eyes, but also try the door.
Okay. The door does open. And you avert your eyes for a moment, but you do discover that there is nobody in that cabin.
Well, this is a mystery for a few moments from now, I'm sure. And
All
I
right.
will close the door and continue on.
All right. So the last person you have to get is the captain. So you go up to the captain's door. What do you do?
I will knock on the captain's door.
All right. And very quickly, the door opens and you see a disheveled looking sea elf that still wearing the same clothes that she was wearing yesterday, same outfit, just she's trying to like get herself straightened out. Keep in mind, I am not saying that anything happened.
Hey, snuggles can get you very disheveled.
Truth.
Well, I see that was one mystery that was solved faster than I anticipated, but a fortuitous one indeed. We're having an officer's cookie party on the deck, and I think it'd be best if you and the captain could join us. But don't worry.
And then it'll hit Ellie. She's opening the captain's door.
Morella, at this point, upon hearing it, you just hear a groan. She sits up. She I will say probably part of her shirt is just probably a little bit down. Her hair is everywhere, and she is rubbing her eyes. She goes, "What is with all this racket?" And she opens her eyes. She realizes Ellie is still in the room with her, answering the door. Eric just looking in the room, and you just see her face go bright fucking pink, and she goes, Eric, what are you doing here?
There's a little issue of a cookie party and he's going to again do the air quotes on the deck. And we require all the officers to be up there. And I thought that you, the captain, would like to be there as well. But I actually do have cookies, and he'll put the box forward.
I don't think that he understands that you could have had your cookies.
Out.
Morella, she gets up immediately. She like brushes herself off. I will say, like, so
I bet
feel
your cookies have sprinkles.
she brushes herself up, and you kind of see her like sway for a minute as like she's still like a touch hungover, and she straightens out her hair, quickly puts it up in those pins, and just immediately straightens herself out. And she goes, "Cookie party? Well,
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very discreet cookie party for officers and the captain only.
I see. Well, allow me to get changed and freshen myself up, and I shall join you for this cookie party. Ellie?
Ellie is just awkwardly like scratching the back of her neck, and then she's gonna look at Morella.
Morella
sort of like sneak to her.
Morella goes over to Ellie and is just like, Ellie, thank you very much for helping me take me back to my room after I had way too much to drink last night. I very much appreciated it. That bucket very much came in handy. Okay. You go freshen up yourself. I will join you in a moment. And she will go and change her outfits, resettle her battle dress.
Ellie?
Yeah.
Ellie? You, on your way out, make a dex save.
With disadvantage, I'm assuming. Okay.
Yay!
6.
6. You accidentally bang into a table and you drop something. Do you pick it up and hand it to the captain? Okay.
Yep.
So you hand her a pair of scissors that you knocked off the desk.
Morella just takes them. She goes, "Thank you. I need these to make some more clothes later today. Be on your way. I will see you guys up on the deck for the cookie parties."
Scissors are very important on a ship. I'm just saying. Very important. All right. So before we get into the cookie party, even though Tim just got here, I will say I will let y'all make the call, because either we're going to take this thing to its logical conclusion, or we can take the mid-session bio break now. What do you guys want to do? How's everybody feeling? Bio break, yay or nay? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me what you got. Thumbs down, thumbs up. I see enough thumbs up, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to give ourselves 5 minutes for those of you watching at home, or if you are watching this later on a recording, you guys can skip forward about 5 minutes from now, because we are going to go ahead and take our break. So we will see all of you in 5 minutes. right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Love Boat. I am your captain for the evening, Big Chief. I need to change this back to Dungeon Daddy if it's going to be the Love Boat shit. But anyway, so we have gotten back to the ship. The ship decided that they are going to head into Blackwater, but we had to handle just a couple of social interactions that were going to happen. Talon, are you still with us, or are you tending to your wife? I don't know. He said something in the message that Selkie will be right back, but he didn't say about him. Oh, there he is. Is she well? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's back in the office. I think she just got a little bit overheated, so we're
Okay.
closing the windows and the doors and turning on the AC. Hopefully that
Beautiful.
helps.
Beautiful, beautiful. Selkie, I hope you get to feeling better. Turn your camera on when you can, but take your time and do you. Take care of yourself first. Did she hear me say that? Tell me she heard me say that.
She did not. We both got headphones plugged in.
All right.
Brian says take your time.
Yes. Make sure she takes care of her. That's what's important. But anyway, so a cookie party is happening. You guys are on the deck of the ship. You guys have been summoned by Morel. It is indeed cookie time.
Cookie time.
So, Morel, you got... Nope, stop that. You got the attention of all of the officers. Say for one who feels a little queasy at the moment, but we're going to trust that she can hear you.
Is this where is this in adjacent to the ship? Are we going straight towards it? Is it
I would say that it is off to the, I think left is your port side, I think. Right?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, it is off to the port side. You would guess probably about 150, maybe 175 yards ish.
In front of us or
Port side about 9 o'clock. Not 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. There we go. I got it. I had to picture my clock. I'm sorry.
Ubriel, ready the weaponry on the port side. Go ahead and give us a few degrees starboard. Pull slightly away from this, whatever this is.
Okay, so as you change direction, you notice that shape with the flapping flag does not appear to move.
It's just stationary.
Yes.
I think that one's not going anywhere.
Ready the weapons anyway.
All right.
Morella up here.
Darzak. Get on
Marilla
the
would.
mangonels on the other side.
Right.
Morella, have you made it up here?
Yeah, Morella at this point, she would have walked on deck and she goes, "Well, I heard we were having a cookie parties. That is
I don't
going
mean
on."
to, Captain. I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you look off nonchalantly off the port bow, you'll see there seems to be probably a vessel of some sort. Might be a tattered flag or something. I can't quite make it out. But nevertheless, I've ordered the weapons to be ready and heed starboard just a few points just to make it, if it was indeed something that we needed to outrun, maybe we'd have a little bit in front of them.
And so this is like a large ship. How far is this off?
At this point, because you guys started moving away from it a little bit, it's probably somewhere between 175 and 200 yards to the port side.
Okay. with that, Morella, she's again kind of gonna glance over at this ship as she turns around. She goes, "Well, I say we continue on in the direction that we are going. If they decide to pursue us, then, as you said, we will have our weapons ready. And as much as I do not like it, there is apparently a few ships that we may need to watch out for, which I would like to speak with you on that at some point."
Do we have? Can we see if they're flying any flags? Because I don't believe you gave us the flag list that we were supposed to have.
Oh shit, you're right. I didn't. I will get those to you guys after the session today. I just need to find it and get it in a format to share it. So I will just go off of your last perception check because that one was pretty high. As you try to make it out a little bit, you notice that you don't see an entire ship. You see part of a ship, and you see the flag that is kind of flapping in the wind, but instead of being up where it should be, you see that this flag is flapping, and it's kind of like draped over the forgive me for not knowing my sailor's terms, but the big cross thing that holds up the sails, that it gets mounted to the mast. Now that gets mounted to the map, the thing that goes across the mast.
A stick.
A stick. No, so you pick the mast. The mast is the big thing that goes up, that is vertical, right? The part that goes horizontal that actually hoists the sails and shit.
The bra.
It's apparently the bra now.
You're talking about the jib? The mainsail?
Sure. Yeah.
No, it just sounds like a penis.
Now I'm going to refer to my penis as a jib. Everybody at work is going to get really confused when I say, "Suck my jib, dude." Oh my God, I made her snort. That's great.
How about the yard arm?
Sure, we can go with that too.
That sounds more piratey.
Yar.
According to this thing, a jib is a triangular sail at the front of the ship. So, Talon, you're back on my shit list.
Hey, I don't sail. I specifically went into something that kept me away from the water.
I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this ship this term eventually, but not right now. So,
So
anyway, you guys continue.
It's remains of a ship, is what you're saying, Brian.
I just said what he sees. You guys need to get closer to it to see, because right now it's just kind of like a silhouette.
All right.
But it is not moving.
Captain, it is possible, and I hand her a spyglass, that you might be able to see it a little bit better with this.
Morella will nod and thank you, and she will extend the spyglass, and she will look through it. Is this like? Do I need to make a perception check or an investigation check?
No, I'll give it to you straight out. As you look at it, you do see that it is the remains of a ship. You see these kind of unique deep emerald sails, and the flag that you see that's kind of stuck to the not jib. We're gonna have to get whatever that term is. That's gonna bother me, but I'll find out next time. The stick, the bra,
the bra,
a bra stick. You see a flag that is you notice the white skull, and then one green and one purple bones that are crossed underneath it.
Do we recognize this as the Cardinal Cloaks?
No, you guys would actually recognize this though as the flag of Opening my notes. Hold up. Get there. Get there. Pause. You guys recognize this as the flag of the Emerald Vixen.
Is this one
Sorry,
of
the Emerald Empress.
Is this one of the
Emerald
ships that have gone
Empress.
missing?
Yes, it is.
Morella immediately lowers the spyglass and she closes it and she hands it over to Morella and she goes, "We are going to be heading in that direction. It looks like it is wreckage of a ship and one of the ships that have gone missing. I say we go investigate. Make sure the weapons are at the ready in case we run into something. From the looks of it, they might have ran into something big. Let's hope there's no more street sharks."
Brick,
Cap.
Brick, take
Yeah,
us hard to
Tyler.
port. Full in sail. Chandrian,
Yes.
I need you to go down into the bosun's locker, and you'll unload all the spears and any other weaponry. Half the crew should be fine. Hurry up, please.
Do we have anything to throw?
We have Ubriel. Is everything operational?
Yeah, we got all of them up. I mean, we fixed them when we were on our way to Beshbakra, so it's ready to go. I just had a question though. I don't know if that ship that's down there, maybe we could salvage some see if they can
Cannons?
can- Yeah, I could fix them up pretty good, if they have them. We should at least get the,
well,
the flag.
Let's make our way over there first.
Yeah.
Slow approach. Draw into half sail, please.
So, Morella,
Way.
upon recognizing this as the Emerald Empress, you know that this ship is captained by a halfling whose name is Zorbin Tenmouse. And for those of you who are keeping notes, that's Zorbin, Zorbin, 10, like the number 10, mouse.
Because he's as tall as 10 mouses.
Maybe.
Or
We
he's
should
10
find
miles.
We should probably put a cat on board.
But he was a very good friend of your father.
You kind of see a bit of a solemn expression on Morella's face as she kind of turns to Morel and she goes, 10 Mouse is who captains that, correct? I remember him having drinks with my father a few times. 'Tis such a shame to see a ship in such disarray.
Well, as soon as we can somebody call Fathoms, please? I don't want to run aground.
What?
Call
Exactly.
Fathoms. Death check.
Exactly. So many years on a ship wasted. I feel like dangling from the claws of the yard arm myself.
Well, I find that you would not be very
But anyway, I do apologize, Captain. As soon as we get close enough to the vessel, on your command, we'll drop anchor. Probably send a few small boats over to see what's left of the ship, see if there's anything salvageable. I would request that Ubriel is sent over, probably sent over all by himself to take on whatever wrath it is by himself, because he's in such a quest for cannons that hopefully, if he initiates any combat, he would win and feel much joyous about the recovery of said cannons.
So, Morel, as you are making this proclamation, you hear one of the crew say, 14 fathoms and dropping, sir.
Dropping?
Meaning, or coming up, as in it's going up. I suppose dropping would be getting lower, so.
Let me know when we get to about 2.5 to 3 fathoms or fathoms and close enough, and we can wait and have the captain anchor the ship, and she will determine where we're going. But until then, I think I should probably go get my armament on. I think I should probably grab my backpack
Okay.
Other essential items needed, just in case if I was to be requested to go aboard that ship.
All right. So you are gearing up. Is anybody else following suit?
Morella is
Absolutely,
immediately
yes.
gearing up as well. She is
Beautiful.
straightening her dress,
Got my-
getting her bags and everything on her, and making sure
Got my
her
bag of
cutlass
holding,
is
all my
nice and
pieces.
sharp.
I am also gearing up, making sure I got everything ready to holy shoot the hell out of this thing.
Okay.
So after arming half of the crew, Chandrian, who does be staying strapped, will be standing on the foredeck with the
Heyo.
rest of the crew,
Awesome.
ready for whatever comes.
All right. So when you guys are about 30 yards away ish, 30 to 35 yards away, the same crewman kind of yells out, like, "Morale, sir, we are at 2.5 fathoms."
Captain, we're getting close enough.
That's right. Set anchor. And she's going to turn to Ellie. Well, first things first, she is going to kind of take the spyglass, inspect around the area and around the ship to see if there's any creatures of any sorts, if there's any sign of life or survivors, or possibly not so friendly folks, just from the distance that she's at.
Okay.
That'd be
So
perception or investigation.
I'm just going to give it to you at this point. As you look through, you see absolutely no movement aboard the ship at all. And it is in that moment, as your crew is watching you kind of tense and everything, it is darkly quiet. Save for the flapping of the flag over there, because you guys don't have one yet.
Is it not? It's not submerged at all or anything.
About halfway.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure I get Omaris, the seal salvage guy, come along with us.
That would be a good idea. I will have him go with Ellie to survey under the waters while we will take onto the ship. And once you guys make your surveys on the water, make sure there are no large creatures or any sort of danger. Please join us onto the deck and we will do a thorough investigation as to what has happened here.
Gail,
All right.
Gail, make sure that Wave Spirit makes it back, please, just in case.
So,
He's doing-
you guys,
he's a good guy.
you guys see a total bro-looking sea elf that's just sitting here, like, kind of tying his hair back into kind of the man bun and everything, and he's kind of tightening it up, and he's kind of stretching a little bit, like ready to dive under, and he kind of looks at Ellie and, right, you ready to go, ma'am? Morel, yes?
I don't want to get our show canceled, but this is a female elf, by the way. Sea
Is it?
elf.
I was about to say, I'm looking at the spreadsheet right now.
Which one are you looking at? Oh, nope, never mind. Total chick bro looking sea elf?
Androgynous.
I mean,
Totally androgynous. That's
Hey.
my bad.
Is there a flex off in our future?
I'm sorry. I
There might
thought
be.
She was a guy before.
shaven sides, but long
Totally.
hair.
Yep.
I heard elves could change if they wanted to. It's weird.
They are not. They are not
It's different.
asymmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
Just one side.
Yeah, that is an F there. Holy shit. Look at that.
Well,
But Morella
All right.
will turn to Ellie and the scavenge elf, and she will be like, both of you need to be safe. And if there's anything, send some kind of signal or alert. But make a quick roundabout and then quickly meet us in rendezvous on the deck.
Ma'am? And you see that she just kind of nods as she like, makes her way towards the edge of the ship, ready to jump over, and is kind of looking at Ellie, waiting on her.
I bet she is.
Swim safe, Ellie. And she will then turn to the rest of the crew. All right, ready the boats. You have my orders. She will turn to I can't remember his name, but the older gentleman who
The turtle.
yeah, the turtle. She will turn to the turtle and she goes, "You live on the ship while we are gone, and if anything happens, you know what to do. Gives a signal, and we will have a few people return as soon as possible to analyze the situation. Do you understand me?"
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
I very much appreciate it. And with that, she will go with the crew and start getting the boats ready as Ellie and the scavenger sea elf go and scope out the water around the ship, and they will head over.
All right. So you and the totally buff Rhea Ripley looking sea elf.
Smash.
I mean, Rhea Ripley is a pretty universal smash, I gotta say, but
Oh God.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you guys jump into the water and you are swimming around, but Rhea is definitely following your lead, Ellie. So tell me what you guys are doing.
Ellie would probably look for any people that are underwater and struggling first.
Okay.
And then sort of take note of the damage that's been done to the ship to see what caused it to sink.
Okay. Give me a perception check of the area.
18.
18. All right. So as you're looking around, you don't see any signs of anything actively struggling. You don't see any signs of any aggressive sea life in the immediate vicinity. You see a couple of, I'll say they're like the Goliath grouper that are kind of sitting there under the ship a little bit, just kind of doing their thing, not really bothering anybody, just kind of chilling. You notice that the ship is run up on some really jagged and sharp rocks that are kind of coming out of the kind of muddy, sandy sea floor. It's not a really it's not a coral area or anything. It's just kind of a generic sea floor type area. You see some general weaponry, like swords and spears and stuff like that are down on the bottom, but you definitely see a big ass hole where the ship ran into the rocks. You don't see any other damage, really.
Is there any like feathers around floating or anything? Or sinking? Like
in the water, no. So you kind of notice because the ship is kind of think that it's kind of ass half in the water, so you kind of see where there's some cracks in the ship where you guys could potentially swim in, but you don't see any feathers around or anything.
I'll sort of hand signal my sea elf buddy, and we'll go into it together.
Okay. So as you, because or do you send her in first, or do you go in first?
I would go in first.
Okay. So right when you swim into this opening, let me ask, have you seen the movie Jaws?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's pretty much what happens. Like, as you go to swim in, just this, like, half-eaten corpse just kind of, like, just sways in the water, like, right at you. And I will say, because you got dark vision, too, you do notice that there is no head on this corpse, though.
Oh.
But that's what happens right when you swim in there.
Well, I would definitely move the body out of the way.
Okay. Don't check it out at all. Just kind of move it out of the way.
I mean, if it's headless, I mean, see, yeah, I'll check it out. I'll see if it's got anything on it.
Okay. Make me I'm going to call it a medicine check. because we don't get to use those very often.
7.
7.
7. Very low.
Person seems to be dead from a lack of a head.
Yes.
That does
Okay.
make it very problematic for living. But that's about all you can tell. Now, with that, I mean, yeah, you can tell that it's headless. You can tell where it has been chewed on. But you know what? Go ahead and roll again, because the see Rhea kind of like motions towards you, like, look again. Is it worse?
No, it's better. That is a 16.
Okay. 16. Okay, so like upon her kind of motioning like towards the neck area, you notice that where like all the other wounds that definitely seem to happen after it was this it's a human body, so after the body was in the water, you see that they were kind of like it's signs that it was being eaten by like general wildlife in the water. But you notice that where the head is missing is a completely clean cut.
Will it fit on the outside? Like if I push it out, and like the body, like if I push it out, will it float up to the rest of the crew up top?
Well, you can push it out and see what happens.
Okay, that is what I will try to do.
Cool.
And then because we've got the earrings, I will let Marilla know what I am setting up for her to keep an eye on.
Okay.
And sort of tell her what I found down here so far. But
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we do have the little earrings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So upon hearing that you guys should be looking for a body in the water, none seems to appear. So you just kind of push the thing out. Doesn't seem to be floating up. It seems to be kind of in that neutral buoyancy phase where it's just kind of yeah.
It means it's probably about to blow up.
Maybe. And who knows what happens when that happens, if anything else
When it
comes
comes to
up.
decomposition, there's usually bloating, and then the
Yep.
gases and everything build up in the bile, and
And
then they
what
explode.
happens when you start shoving bodies out of a ship into the water? Sharks don't come around at all, probably.
Okay, well, I got my own shark, so yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you continue swimming into the boat?
Yep, I'm just looking for any loot, any notes, anything important, equipment, maybe like food or anything that I could send back out.
Okay.
Or that the rest of the crew can come grab. I'm not grabbing everything.
Not a lot of salvageable like food stuffs. Like you do find some, but they were all like dry goods, so the fact they've been sitting in the water, they are not really all that good. You find a grand total of 17 more bodies.
Ugh.
And I will say that they have all had a similar treatment.
Oh shit.
That's not good.
But getting kind of into the depths of the bottom of the ship, though, you guys do come across a handful of chests that are locked. And they're kind of all butted up against one side of. There's about let's see, there's 4 chests that are kind of laying haphazard against one side of the wall, like the part that you can tell sank first.
Ellie would let Marilla know so that she could send down some of the crewmates to go get the chests.
Okay.
And then Ellie would just sort of swim up. There's nothing but dead bodies down here, Captain. They looks like they've been decapitated, but not by any sea life.
That is concerning, to say the least. All right, thank you for letting me know. Go ahead and rendezvous back around. We will meet you up on the dock. I will send down Moore and Ubria to fetch the test, and I'm sure Morel could probably figure out how to get them open. And with that, she will give her orders and start climbing up onto the dock and take in the carnage.
Okay. So the rest
And
of
when
you.
Ellie swims back up, she would bring that body with her so that the rest of the crew could look at it themselves.
Okay.
And she would send Morel and Ubriel down to actually, you guys both have like really like rather low ACs, don't you? Or I'm not sure.
I mean, I was just assuming that you could send like some of the crew members, like
Oh,
like
let's
the other
just
guys.
make it easier. We'll keep the crew together. Yeah. Yes, Morel.
I geared up to go over there. I thought I was on the little ship, the little boat that went over there.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying is like going. I guess like Morel could be in a separate ship. I'm not sure.
I can swim.
I mean, you guys. So you guys have 4. I don't know what they're called. The like basically like pretty big rowboats that you could fit most of the crew on in all 4 of them. Not quite all, but most. So if you guys are taking just one of those, if it's like the officers are just going, you guys would probably all be in one boat, or if you guys would be going over with other crew, then
I will say she probably would have brought like maybe 4 or 5 of the crew. Like, let's just go with 4 of the crewmen along with them, just to like if they find anything, she'll and they'll be in a separate. The crew will be in a separate boat. If they find anything like the chest, they would just take the chest back and they will continue their investigation.
Okay, fair enough.
Chandrian would also volunteer to go below and start helping move the chests around.
Okay. Awesome. Let's get those up on deck and let's see what the fuck is happening here.
I'm pretty sure with the size of his testicles, they may be able to float. So he could just latch onto one of them with his probably muscular inner thighs and just kind of rise to the surface, per se.
I'm honestly.
He can carry all 4 at the same time, 2 in his arms and 2 floating below.
I am not very interested in testicles, Morel, but thank you for the.
And I wink at Morella. I know.
Morella immediately goes stark fucking purple, and she just turns around, and she just kind of like walks away. She's like, "I am going to go investigate."
I am going to go investigate. Here we go.
Can I look at the corpse that she brought up?
None came up yet.
Oh, I thought Ellie brought a corpse up with her.
Yeah, I brought it up.
You brought it up?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's like the first thing you would see. She's kind of floating it, so you could just
Just,
this headless body all of a sudden, and then Ellie
Morella just walks right
headless,
into
waterlogged corpse.
and Ellie would sort of pull herself up, and then she would ready her spear, kind of like twisting it a little bit, like a flag.
It's medicine, right?
Yeah. If you're trying to, what are you? Let me rephrase. What are you trying to figure out exactly?
Cause of death, if possible.
Cause
He'll-
of
he'll
death,
have a head.
if possible. Go for it.
Head's missing.
I rolled an 18 plus 6, so 24. Right?
That
Yeah.
one's head has been cleaved off by a weapon.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time? You got a what now?
I got it 18 plus 6, so 24.
24?
Yes.
All right. So you can deduce that indeed the cause of death was decapitation.
That's fantastic. I'm very glad that I rolled the good one on a one that didn't really matter.
I mean, it matters, but
It's okay. I'll get the one that matters later.
so I know you guys are all on this boat together now, is what's happening.
I do believe that's what's happened.
Beautiful.
Morella would first walk over to Ubriel, and she would kind of look at his wings, and she'll look up at the flag. If you do not mind, Ubriel, do you mind fetching the flag? We can bring it back as evidence for what remains of this ship. And also probably give it a proper burn and burial when it is done.
He should be able to get it.
What?
Oh, Jangles! Is this the new monkeys that you speak of? Oh, I'm so excited to see.
So I open up my bag. He like hops out. Like, pick him up. Hey, go get the flag.
Hey,
All right,
little,
so
He
you little
scrambles out.
fucking monkey. Sit your fucking ass down.
He scrambles up
Before I
to the top.
fucking
He starts
cleave you
like
in half and
undoing
feed
the
you to
un-
what resides inside of Ellie's body.
Oh, there is no need to be so
unscrewing
mean
and
to the monkey,
untying.
Morvel.
Yep. Then he actually jumps, and when he jumps, he's got the flag like kind of like hanging over his back, kind of a thing. And you guys see his tail is spinning around, kind of like a helicopter, and he can fly.
That is so awesome.
He comes down, and he drops the flag like for me, and I'm like.
Morella will do her best to make sure the flag doesn't touch the ground, and she will
Nope.
she'll
No, he dropped it right in my hands. Yeah.
she'll
If you need it-
have Uriel help her fold it, and she will put it with the
We'll do it
chests
proper.
that have been brought up.
If you need, I can put it in the bag so we don't lose it.
Hey,
Zeta,
how about this?
Yes.
How about this, Ubriel? How about you just hand it over to me?
Fair? Doesn't matter to me.
Thank you.
What is it, Morel?
I take the flag and I put it into my top coat.
Okay.
So I'm going to go over like I said I was going to go over. I'll be back.
Sounds fair.
So you guys are okay. So I know you guys are on the boat, the sunken, half sunken boat, right?
Yep.
Okay. And Morel, you are doing what?
Well, I was going to retrieve the flag.
Okay.
Is there a ship's bell?
There is kind of sitting half submerged on the helm, or kind of mounted by the helm, which you can tell is kind of about 3 or 4 feet below water level right now.
Ubriel, can you have your assistants retrieve that bell?
Yeah,
That is yet another item we can present in proof that we have found the vessel. After that, you could melt it down into something useful, right?
There's potential for that for sure. Maybe not just one bell, but I might need a couple. But yeah,
It doesn't.
So,
it'll help.
as you guys are talking about this, because nobody told me that you were looking out, kind of in the water surrounding the ship, per se. You guys hear the sound of something shoot out of the water and then something land on the deck. And what I am going to need you guys to do is go over to D&D Beyond and go into our campaign and actually hit, I believe it's launch game. And as we are doing that, I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and roll initiative at the same time, please.
D&D Beyond. He wants to go to.
So 13 for me, boss.
All right. So yeah, you're going to go into our campaign on D&D Beyond, and it should say something like launch game or something to that effect.
Yep. Ooh, fun.
It's a
Chandrian
little.
obviously has his arms and testicles full, so he rolls a natural one.
Testicles full.
He's a little slow because his balls are dragging.
Hey, Ubriel, did you roll the initiative? I didn't see it.
I haven't grabbed it yet. I was just trying to
Okay.
find where the launch game was. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
we're good.
Fair enough.
The launch game button is right next to where it says campaign golden goes. It's an arrow.
Yep.
All right. Ellie, what did you get on your initiative, my darling? Because you as the on Ellie is now in there. Okay, very good. Morel is not in there yet, though. I just need you. There we go. So, standing on the deck, kind of pointing directly at you, Morella, is a creature that you have heard about, but you've never seen it. And, well, let me ask this quick. Did everybody manage to launch the game and see the
I
map?
am launching. I am
Yes.
launching it now.
A lot of
Okay.
sea
What's the black dot?
I'm guessing that's where a mast is. This is not an accurate depiction of how the ship looks. This is just the only ship map that I have right now.
I think that's a perfect description of half of a ship.
I mean, right?
There you go.
Did you get it, my darling?
Tis loading.
Tis loading.
Tis loading.
All right. So you see this kind of this green-skinned kind of scaled creature that is pointing at you, speaking in a language that you don't understand. Or actually, do you?
What is the
Actually,
language?
oh shit, I think all of you do. How many of you
Thank
speak Primordial?
That would be all
I
of us.
speak Primordial. Yeah, because that was the one common
Yeah.
language I think we decided to.
Sweet.
Yes.
Everybody probably but Chandrian because he was late to the party.
We'll teach him.
Okay.
He'll learn it.
So forgetting that,
No, I
speak
told you.
primordial. I do speak primordial.
do you?
I
Sweet.
do.
In that case,
Hey!
everybody does understand this because I
Yes.
forgot that all of you took Primordial. Yes, Ken.
It's almost like
And-
we're working our backstories
we are-
together.
And we established that I was the actual only one who spoke Aquan.
You know, I kind of take Primordial as all of them.
I know you do, but the rest of the D&D community does not. So
Aquan would be like a more complex dialect, I think,
Yeah.
as to where Primordial is like more like what Portuguese would be to Spanish.
Or English is to English.
We don't talk about English.
All right, so you guys, so morale just a little bit better than everybody else. You hear this creature kind of speaking and saying, "This ship, ours now. You go."
Morella is just gonna kind of step forward and she goes, Who are you to say that you own this ship now? What have you done to this place?
We find first. This our ship now. We claim.
Did you do this to this ship? Are you the one who caused all this carnage?
We do not attack ship. We claim ship in our waters.
All right. Well, we are not here to take your ship. This empty shell of a vessel is yours to have. But we must notify our superiors of your ownership of the ship.
You know, come back to our waters. These our waters now.
And we are very sensitive imposed, but we must do a little bit more investigations. But we will do our best to not impose on this vessel once we finish our investigation. So we may
You see it
confirm
looking
with our authority.
You see it looking very confused. Many big words.
Morella is going to kind of kneel down and she's going to just kind of put on a little bit of charm, just a very friendly smile. And she goes, we must finish we must finish looking on the ship to make sure that you absolutely have complete ownership of the ship. So we may notify our leaders that You own the, and she's gonna knock on just the empty wood. That you own the body of the ship, correct?
You no leader?
My superiors, my leaders. Leaders. Ugh. I'm not.
You leader.
Yes, I am the captain.
Me leader.
Then I hope that we can reach an agreement. Will
What
you allow?
is agreement?
Perhaps we could make a deal.
I know deal. What deal you have?
Would you allow us to take this banner? Actually, no. It's already in Morel's. It's already in Morel's pocket. So nerf that. She's not mentioning that. Will you allow us to find out what happened to this ship? What kinds of creatures caused such chaos and carnage? So, one, we want to make sure that what is here for you stays safe, and we can take care of whatever caused this, so it doesn't come back and possibly take what is yours.
Angry bird ladies attack ship.
The sirens. Do you know how
Angry.
many there were? How many sirens originally were there?
What did you guys take out? I think 4 of them.
Including Big Mama?
5 of them with her, I
2
think.
more. Yeah, 3 have actually. I think it was 5 plus the big mom.
5 plus the yeah. So they
Morella's
just look at good. Many come.
Morella's gonna hold up the number on her fingers, and she goes, "Is that about this many?"
She like looks confused. And
Each finger represents a bird. About this many birds?
get many birds. Bird ladies. Very, very big.
I see. Well, thank you very much. We will take
Then
our...
the dead one came.
Which one? The dead one? Tell me more of the dead one. I love hearing stories.
Dark sheep come from water. Glowing. Green color like my skin. Crew not living. Captain not living. Not dead. One eye.
Morella's face just goes solemn as she's again thinking about the night that they lost the captain, and she slowly nods. She goes, I see. Do you know which directions that he went in? Do you mind pointing for me? We
She
can make
points-
sure that this man
She
does not...
points straight down. Back to water.
Morella takes a moment, and she just kind of nods. Well, that is quite the tale you have told me. She's going to kind of stand up, still kind of a gesture over to Chantrin to pretty much like be like, keep an eye on this thing if it's gonna like maybe he's just too busy with the balls, but but
Well, you notice that she points towards kind of what you assume as a rumple of just kind of a like it looks like the sails just kind of like collapsed in this spot. And kind of like as she turns, because you guys did this diplomatically, she turns to go away, and she just kind of motions to all of her guys to swim around, and you see them dive back into the water, kind of just swim off into the water, and She kind of like looks up at the rising sun and night come. You no be here anymore.
We have an agreement. Thank you.
What
And
is agreement?
we have a deal, my friend. And she will kind of give like a light glow off of her tattoos as they shift under her skin, for kind of just like a friendly. And but I will say before she leaves, she goes, "Do you have a name?" It's
Chandrian's gonna kind of clear his throat a little bit loudly and try and lean over towards Morella a little bit.
What is it?
Can you clarify if we should not be here at night or
There-
if we need to leave by night?
I believe they would like us to leave the body of this ship by night. We will have to be careful out on the seas, but I'm hoping with that diplomatic exchange,
Dark
we
ship sails under the moons. And then she turns and she just kind of slips into the water.
Morella is still going to ask for her name.
Can we get a description of this thing?
Of what? The creature? Sure. You guys do your little RP thing for a moment. Let me get my notes up, and I will get you in just a minute.
I believe that they are asking that we leave this ship, or what is left of it, before nightfall. I think they have taken homage here. And honestly, there is
Does that
nothing
need
else.
us to leave their territory or just the ship?
Well, we're going to try and get out of their territory as quick as possible, but if we still have time, perhaps we can find another ship. But I'm hoping with that diplomatic exchange, they might be a bit lenient. And I have a few tricks up my sleeve when it comes to dealing with aggressive individuals.
Indeed.
Ellie looks like she's gonna puke. She.
Oh.
I also think they were warning us about that ship.
Okay.
At night.
I know, Ellie. It kind of unnerves me as well, considering your visions.
So, Ken, for you, the description of the creature. So you see she was an imposing figure, standing slightly taller than you could tell the other ones that were swimming around in the water were. She has kind of a commanding presence. That kind of obviously marked her as a leader. Her skin was a kind of deep mottled green color, kind of reminiscent of the murky depths of the ocean. Darker patches run along her back and limbs, fading into lighter shades close to the belly, and her body is adorned with intricate markings that denote her rank and spiritual significance. Her eyes are a piercing yellow. They glow with an eerie luminescence that see into the very souls of those that meet her gaze. She has long webbed fingers that end in sharp claws, capable of rending flesh with ease. Her head is crowned with a crest of fin-like protrusions, which rise and fall with her emotions. And you guys would have all been seeing that. And she was also wearing a mantle of seaweed and shells, intricately woven to signify her status and connection to the ocean. And she was also wearing a necklace of shark teeth and coral.
That's it?
Why would somebody draw a dick on my map?
Was it me?
Is that it? I'm going
Yeah.
to study. I want to study that individual for as many minutes as I possibly can.
Okay. So
Morella
you
had a
do
nice
so.
little chat with them.
I was going to say, as Morella was having the chat, you can do so. Are you doing anything else but studying?
I'm just I can see they're talking. I just want to
Okay.
study.
All right.
I mean, from
Um,
head to toe, I want to memorize their look. Their
Give
maybe
me a nature check real quick as you're studying them.
I'm not very naturist. I'm just studying.
Okay. Ellie, do you wish to give a nature check?
Sure.
All right. Or Chandrian, if he is.
You said I've heard of these
They would
beasts.
be.
What are they? Or
You've
can I-
heard descriptions of them.
Mm.
That was a 12.
12. I would say with you in particular, with your knowledge of the sea and everything like that, and the fact that you've dealt with these guys in particular, back in your hometown, you recognize these as the, and I hope I'm saying this right, the Sahuagin?
The wagon.
Sure. Sahuagin. They are ocean-dwelling creatures, generally slightly territorial. These ones seem to be more agreeable than ones you've dealt with in the past.
Morella did her bard shit.
Well, you get the feeling that being able to speak Aquan to them made them significantly agreeable right up front, because normally they don't understand the people that are talking to them.
Well, Morella is the one who speaks Aquan. Morella would probably just be speaking broken primordial to them, which would also make
Okay.
sense why they probably didn't understand
Still,
as easily.
probably. Still,
Thick accent.
better communication than they normally get from the common folk.
We run these oceans.
We run this shit. All right, so yeah, you guys get this, and the last thing she left you with before saying that the dark ship sails under the moon is that she kind of pointed at the sail, which is kind of bunched up kind of at the foot of the mast.
Morella kind of just looks up at it and she kind of nods, turns to the crew and goes, "Well, I think we know what happened here. Seems these harpies have. Can Morella make a medicine check to see if it can be a harpy that decapitated these things? Because they did have swords, right?
No, they did not have swords. They had clubs, but they did have talons. So
Morella's-
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, make a medicine check, and anybody can help her out because you have
Their
have
heads,
two clerics with you. You
That is
don't have to rely on them.
their
Guided.
heads were cleaved off by swords.
She needs to figure it out on her own.
All right, so that is a Dirty Girl 24.
Okay, so looking to see if any harpy could cause any of this. This in particular, no, it cannot. That
With
these
that-
are extremely clean. But you got a what with that?
24.
24. I will say, as you start looking at this wound that cleaved the head off a little bit, though, you do notice that the skin right by the cleave is blackened, and it kind of seems to be almost leaching into the skin, like it's.
Immediately, she turns to Gale. Gale, I would like for you to bless these bodies, purge them of any evils that may be lingering in them. I have a feeling that this ship with the dark sails is what caused this, because no harpy could do so.
Morale, you have your hand up. You get to go after she is done.
And she will turn to Morel.
Are,
I think
are
no.
there no bodies present with a head on them? I'm gonna head back over to the ship or whatever we need to do.
Okay.
I do not like the look of this. I think this ship with the black sails is what is causing these disappearances. It looks like we have a mystery on our hands, gang.
So
I'll turn back over as she's saying that. I'll turn back over. Not the mystery, and just keep on going, getting into the little
Beautiful.
get into
Morella.
the skiff.
Morella just kind of looks at Morella and she goes, I was hoping you would not say that. I was just hoping I was wrong with my assumptions as to what this is. And she will turn to the crew. Gather up the treasure. We are heading back. Leave the bodies. Gale, make sure you bless them. I do not want them coming back.
So I'm clear, like nobody is going to this bunch of sales that the priestess pointed towards or anything.
So, okay, so the bunch is like, are they like a different set of sales?
Well, yeah, there's, despite what the map says, there's still 2 masts on this ship.
I mean, that was one thing that I wanted to do before we took off. So I was gonna go over to Morella. I know this ship isn't ours, but if there's any mass or free planks or repair kits, we should probably take them back with us for the ship. Good canvas.
Yes, we will start with that. If we can ravage anything from the water as well, I would say food would be off the table, but if any sort of canvas we can dry out in the sun, find anything useful. She's going to kind of look back over at the sails. Is there anything familiar about them?
They're the same colors as the one that are still hanging up there. But they're just hanging there. Or just, like I said, they look just like they are bunched at the bottom of the foremast.
Morella will make her way over.
Yes, Morel, are you?
I rolled a 16 for a history check, specifically for the ship called the Emerald Empress. And if there is any indication that this ship seemed to be travel faster than other ships, more maneuverable than other ships.
Okay, so with that, you do know that the Emerald Empress, piloted by Captain Ted Mouse in particular and his crew, was one of the fastest ships in the fleet.
Take the fucking sails. They're magical.
Well, Morella doesn't quite exactly realize this, but if Chandran is like gathering like sails and stuff, she'll probably start like by looking at the canvas over there. And she goes,
Only anybody had detect magic.
"Oh, I do have detect magic."
Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to get
Oh,
ceremony
great.
back on my spell list so I could do the funerary rites because it wasn't popping up for some reason.
Yeah.
But I also have detect magic.
There you go. So yes, from this mass of Riddick was here. From this mass of canvas, you actually get 2 types of magic that are pinging.
Port and starboard magic.
Yes, port and starboard.
Now we can go faster. Ubriel, you should probably get your new apprentice, Chandrian, and I'll fix those sails. Maybe we could go faster. No?
And apparently you look over and you see Eric has found another cat.
Wonderful idea.
I do have one question. Is the
Get in place faster.
So you say the bow of the ship is underwater?
The back, aft.
The stern?
Stern is the. Which one is the back? Is it
Stern?
the stern? Stern.
But
The ass of the ship.
How deep is the giant nameplate for the Emerald Empress underwater?
I would probably about because it's kind of hanging off the back of it. There's kind of a drop off, so the nameplate is kind of down about 12, 14 feet into the water, and like you can see past that, it's just a steep drop off going back into the depths of the water. So,
All right.
if you
Don't worry
want
about
to, okay,
it. I'll mention that to Ubrio,
Mm.
but other than that, I'm just thinking if we needed to, we have the flag, we have the sails. If we could somehow attach the Emerald Empress's thing, maybe that might become useful at some point in time to evade somebody. Maybe they think it's not our
Is
ship.
the captain's quarters on the stern of the deck? Maybe we should go check there, see if there's anything.
Morella will kind of nod in
I mean,
agreement.
the rudder would be the best thing to get. The book
Well,
with all their places they went.
Well, you guys spend enough time. Make sure that you have. Well, never mind. I'm on the skiff, kind of trying to float over to the boat.
Careful.
Mm.
Don't run
All right.
into any sea white.
so
There's cats that need to be fed.
I think that the back can handle that.
please. So to y'all can resolve whether you're gonna go after the nameplate or not. I will say, saving any rolling, nothing of any import really comes out of the captain's thing. If y'all go in for that, you do find it's basically its logbook and where it's been going.
Yeah, we'll take a look for sure.
Yeah, and like nothing really seems out of the ordinary. But back to the sales. You guys are collecting the sales.
Yep.
So collecting the ones that are still hung is easy enough. You guys can do that. They are mostly dry, other than the typical sea spray. And then you guys turn to the ones that is kind of bundled up at the fore mast, where I said Morella got 2 types of magic when she pinged on that. And because
Which
that
is-
tells you what type of magic. Enchantment magic is one of them. And necromancy is the other one.
What? Don't tell me that's like human skin. The fuck? Morella just kind of sits there and just looks and she goes, "Gal, are you feeling what I'm feeling?"
I cast detect magic too, so would I be feeling the same thing? It's feeling oogie boogie.
Y'all can both give me an Arcana check if you want, or one of you can help the other. It's up to you.
I will
what-
give you advantage.
Is your Arcana not that good?
No, I am
He's a
religion.
cleric.
They are made.
I'm not even proficient in religion.
Oh, I have a fucking +4 in Arcana, so.
Do your thing.
They are made. They are made from the skin of 1,000 mermaids.
It is a 23 for an Arcana check.
Okay, so it's a 23. You can tell that the 2 types of magic are separate.
Oh shit. Morella is gonna. Oh fuck.
There's 2
The
items under there. All right.
the necrotic damage. It's not a part of the cells. Chandran, I need your help over here.
Yes, and Chandrian would run like sprint, full on sprint to get up close to Morella at that point.
With my Arcana check, can I tell if there's like any like where exactly the necrotic damage is on this thing? So Chandrian can't really.
I didn't say damage. I just said necrotic energy.
Energy.
Energy. All right, she
Necromancy.
necromancy. Okay, just being
It's very important.
the captain that she is, to make sure that like Chandrian doesn't get hurt, she's gonna go up and just touch the mast.
Well, the mast is covered
Well,
in the.
Well, the mast and or sorry, the like the sails, the bra that is holding the sails, as well as like the fabric, just to make sure there's like no magical reaction of any sort. Nothing. All right, she goes, Alright, help me pose this out. I think there's something wrapped up in here. Ellie?
Very, very silently, Chandrian would go to assist and drag everything out.
Ellie, just be ready for anything. For some reason, I am sensing, necromancy, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At necromancy, Ubriel comes out of the captain's area. You say necromancy? Careful over there. Remember, there was some kind of green, glowing person who showed up. Could be some residue or something. I don't know.
That's who I think is running this ship that is causing people's heads to disappear.
Yeah, we should be ready. We gotta get out of here before it's nighttime too.
I agree. Chandran, let's get this rolled out. Let's see if there's anything in here. And she will kind of have her hand on her what's the name of it? On her rapier, just kind of ready to poke anything that comes out and seeing if anything unrolls from these sails.
Okay. So you guys remove the sails. And it is a lot of sails. I don't know if you guys have ever seen how big ship sails really are, but they're pretty massive. So straightening them out and like putting them away in a neat manner, it kind of takes some time, but eventually you can tell that it's getting kind of close to the uncovering the actual mast part. And you notice that the sails become significantly more damp and that they are stained with a crimson red color that seems to be just stoked into the fabric of the sails.
Is the necromancy coming off of that?
It's still coming from like behind the sail.
Okay.
But like the crew that's over there with you kind of stops at this moment and is kind of like looking at you, Morella, like
Morella just pretty much tells them to keep going. We're here to investigate this and we're going to see it through. And she kind of gives her crew a stern look, as in, swallow it down, prepare yourselves. There is no time to be scared right now.
Captain, when we get close, can we have everyone standing by? And I will pull and uncover whatever is underneath quickly.
Yes. And she'll kind of motion for everyone to get in a formation. She herself will be standing the closest to pretty much.
Do you want me there?
Oh no, she wants everybody there. Like considering this kind of magic,
If you give an order to me to get my ass back on the fucking ship, then I would do that. Most definitely.
okay.
Oh yeah, no, Morel. Like as soon as she discovers this, she will like go into her earpiece and be like, "Morel, I need you to come back. We have what seems to be a lot of blood and some necromancy. So you might want to look at this." And she will wait for him to come back before they continue.
Okay.
This is not to be pretty.
So
Is
Morel
everybody
comes
ready?
back. You guys notice that the ship has the ballista and like the mangonels are loaded. The ballista are pointed towards the ship, like. And you guys notice that the entire crew, like that is back on your guys' ship, is like they got weapons out. They are looking tense. They are looking nervous. Like what they were raising up off of like the skiff that came back with the first sail and everything. It's like currently like sitting like halfway up the ship as everybody is looking. And the crew is just kind of looking at you, Morella, waiting for your signal to
Once Morella's in position, she will give the signal, turning to Chandrian, and she will nod her head for him to continue.
Okay. So
And with one big flap, Chandrian will pull the rest of the canvas off of whatever is on the deck.
Rapiers
So-
have.
there at the base of this mast is just heads that are like nailed or stuck to the mast. You guys count 27 of them total. And then at the top, because this is set up almost like a pyramid, and at the top you see Morella, somebody that your father called a friend, Captain Tenmouse, even in his diminutive form, is sitting there, head still intact, but nailed, like his arms like behind him on to the mast, like through kind of each of the, I don't know what those two bones are, but the two bones in your arm.
The radius.
Yeah, and he's like sitting there like his head is just flopped over. But you see that his eyes and his mouth just seem to be kind of glowing green.
Oh dear God! What did I do to
I
you?
think it's time for fire. What's fire?
She's gonna turn to Gale, and she's gonna be like, "Do you have any idea what kind of magic this is? You're the
Burn out
holy
with
man."
fire.
Is this pinging the necromancy?
Is he
Give
looking
me a
aggressive?
religion check real quick.
Okay.
Do all of us need to?
No, just Gale.
Oh.
17.
So with the 17, you know there is nothing religious to this. In fact, this is not just nothing of the gods. This is something against the gods, is what you get.
This is messed up stuff.
You're telling me.
No, this is. It's unholy, is what it is.
I say we burn it. Make it go boom. That's a good idea. I think it's time to make this go boom.
I am going to ritually cast ceremony.
So as you start that, Morella, you notice that Tenmouse's head like lifts up and just kind of goes from like flopped forward to like flopped back.
Is
And he
there?
begins. Go ahead.
Oh, is there any markings or anything on his face or his neck or chest?
You notice that his eyes have been removed. You notice that his ears have been removed. And you notice that there is a big wound in his chest that is just open.
Morella is just clenching her jaw at this point. She is furious and just trying to process this while Gale is casting ceremony. And she's going to kind of look around for any other signs of ritual as to exactly why this was done. Is this like a marker? Is this...
So, as you are looking, you all hear this kind of raspy, rattled, unholy breath come from this thing as Tenmouse's body starts speaking and just says, "Rejoice, all of you. Blackheart rides again to the salvation of you all. He is coming."
We need to give this guy some peace.
Say what?
Ubriel said that we need to give this guy some peace. Morella doesn't say anything. She just stares. Like there's no point of reasoning with something that was brought back unnaturally, because therefore it's only going to cater to unnatural responses. And she pretty much has now been confirmed that it is the ship that Ellie is seeing. All these pieces are kind of coming together. She turns to Gale and Eric and she goes, make sure you pour as much radiant damage into that thing as you possibly can once you are done with your ceremonies.
I'll put some fire on it. It's not good.
Oh, he just turned his camera off. I was gonna ask if Eric was doing anything, but he seemed to be walking away for a moment.
The cats demand the
That's
victuals.
what I meant.
I'm gonna make one of my cannons the one that makes the flame damage.
Okay.
Cone. We need to grab one of the heads, make sure we bring it back so we can speak with the dead to that thing with Ellie's little charm thingy.
Ooh.
Find out what actually happened here, and then I don't know. The rest of it, we should just like, this guy needs some peace.
Yeah, he needs to be put to rest. And Morella, if anyone's looking, she looks visibly upset. Like she is
Yeah, we gotta
very,
get out
very
of here
upset seeing.
safely and put Tinmouth down.
She's so angry that one of her father's friends has been reduced to this
We can't let him stay like
unholy
this. This is not good.
blasphemy.
Ellie would just sort of solemnly say, "This, what Gail's doing, it's not enough. We have to get rid of the bodies. We have to." And she just sort of shakes it off. It's not enough. There's 17 bodies down there. We need to get rid of them too.
As you say this, Ellie, the vision of your decaying, zombified hubby comes back and... Don't you miss me, Ellie? Don't you want to see me again? And the vision just kind of fades.
Ellie would definitely scream just for a second, and then all of a sudden she'd take a look at her surroundings and then compose herself
Morella
again.
just immediately just kind of like grips her shoulders, like, Ellie, are you okay?
Ellie, give me a perception check real quick.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. In the briefest of moments on the deck, as you're like opening your eyes after screaming for a second and looking down on the deck, you see trailing off towards the edge of the ship black footprints just that are there for just a fraction of a second and then disappear.
She would point down to them. Did anybody see those? Anybody? And like she would try to follow them.
See what? Ellie, are you seeing things?
There's footprints.
Morella's gonna kind of look, and are the footprints visible to anyone else?
Nope. Nobody else saw.
Ellie, there are no footprints. Morel, do your roll guys see anything?
Did we pick up anything with the detect magic?
Detect magic?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
Morella just kind of looks at Ellie a little bit concerned, and she goes, "Maybe this is all a bit overwhelming."
No, it's in my head. What I told you earlier, it's in my head. We need to deal with this, and we need to get out of here, please.
All right. And immediately she will arrange for like a burial pile and arrange everything, allow for Gale and Eric to do their holy moly stuff before Ubriel goes. And she turns to Ubriel and she goes, "Torch it up."
Yep. I'll grab one head. I pull it off the bottom of the pyramid, kind of a thing.
Okay. Morel, in this moment, as you're watching this, the slightest of smirks barely dancing on the edge of your lips. A connection that hasn't pinged for a while comes up. A connection to mother.
No, I know what it is. Voice in my head. You don't need to tell me what it is.
Yeah, well, the fucking
I am
audience doesn't know, so
I'm very clear on what it is. And I am smiling. I look at Uber. You should probably leave that here and burn it with the rest, you fool.
You don't want to find out what happened?
Let's just get back to
Do
this
you
ship.
know all that?
Let's just get back to this ship where there is
so
We gotta give these guys some
safety.
so Morel. In this moment, that deep connection that you have with mother is pinging and it's bringing you joy. But then that new addition to your chest, that tattoo that you have, that is pinging in a different direction. Conflicted. Nervous. Anxious. Anticipation. Excitement. Just kind of all of those emotions, and you're kind of being pulled in two different directions at once, but
Not being pulled at all. I'm following my heart.
beautiful. So, you watch. Umbriel, you got told that you might want to leave that there. Do you... What do you do? You are muted, sir.
I guess we'll just leave it there and burn it with the rest of them.
Okay.
Make sure we get the flag though.
Yep, the flag is already there. The sets of sails are
Flag
going.
and sails and
Chandrian,
The bell.
you have something? The bell, yes. You guys.
So while all of this conversation piece is happening, Chandrian would have gone over to the crew that was there with him.
Mhm.
He would have set.
Who you guys noticed? They are terrified right now.
He would have checked in on them. He would have set a pair to watch the water, pair to watch the pile, and then the rest that were available, he would have tried to line them up. See if anybody can sing, see if anybody has any instruments or sea pipes or anything else on him, and he would have prepared a group to do like a funeral dirge, play some music, and hopefully allow the souls or whatever is manifesting in these bodies to actually lay to rest.
Okay. So you gather there are some musically inclined folks on the ship that kind of come to join you, and Gale looks like he's getting ready to do something. Morella's coming out. She is busting out her lute, I believe.
yes,
Or lyre?
she has a lyre and a lute, I think. I think for this, yeah, she has a
She has
lyre.
a guitar and a bass.
Yeah, she has a lyre and a lute. I say she would pull out the lyre for this. Gives it a bit more angelic kind of feel. Matches the total aesthetic, you know?
The bagpipes are 100% coming out, and Chandrian's going to try and follow Morella's lead with the tune and the songs.
Morella just will kind of be harmonizing with her voice along with with the bagpipes and the lyre. The lyre is just being very like strongly plucked, just ringing with the undertones of the notes of the bagpipes. And as many would think that it may not go together, somehow it surprisingly does. May we roll a performance check?
Go for it.
Yeah!
I support this.
We're gonna ready our weapons and make sure if Tenmas decides he wants to.
Obviously,
back.
I'm assisting to help you roll with advantage.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right, with advantage, that is a 19 plus 7 for a 26. It's a beautiful ceremony.
Yes, you guys do a absolutely fantastic job. How many of you guys are familiar with Final Fantasy X? Okay,
Yep.
you see Gale going full Yuna on this bitch. Like, he is like dancing on the water right now, using his Air Genasi stuff to just be on the water. The fact that Justin doesn't know Final Fantasy X is a little offensive, if I'm being honest. But Justin, later on, go on YouTube, look up Yuna sending ceremony. Okay, that's what you're
Okay.
doing.
Okay.
But and I will say, going fully in on this visual, as the fire starts burning, you guys notice that even the Sahuagin or Swagin or whatever they are in the water, and even though you're burning what they claimed, they are recognizing what is happening, and they are just kind of sitting there solemnly watching. And you guys see just these, like, coming from out of the fire, you just see these balls of energy kind of coming out and drifting up towards, towards the sky, towards the heavens. But before you see anything happening, before the flames reach Tenmouse, you see this kind of green energy being drawn from his eyes, from his mouth, from that hole in his chest, and you see them kind of coalescing and forming this figure right in front of you, Morella.
She stands her ground, jaw clenched, and she is just staring dead on. She has a feeling knowing what she's about to face.
And this figure takes the form that you haven't seen since the night that your adopted father sacrificed himself. As you see this form with one shining spot where one eye would be, and just the flames kind of avoiding the other one. The one leg. And you see it look up, the flames kind of forming this kind of ethereal beard. As this form kind of looks at each one of you. Again, this is just this kind of ethereal green flame.
Her lyre has not stopped playing, by the way. She stopped singing, but she is still dead looking at this individual.
And it just kind of looks at all of you and says, "Rejoice, for I have come. Open your arms and embrace me, or fall by the wayside. It is up to you."
We will rejoice. For you have come so we can take you back to where you came from. And she then will continue plucking as the plucking grows louder, and her voice gets more and more powerful as her voice just gets, her vocals just get higher and higher. You are hearing these peaching whistle tones currently. She is pretty much just being like, "Fuck you."
And as that happens, he starts to laugh. Again, kind of go into the Lord of the Rings reference. Picture when the king under the mountain laughs and you see it kind of like it gets dark like that, and you notice all the light in the area, like the sun itself seems to dim. The fire itself kind of goes from this raging fire down to just almost the the slightest flickering of flames just above an ember. And the chuckle gets deeper. And you swear for a second, those of you guys looking in the water, to see hundreds and hundreds of skeletal and zombie type figures for just the fleeting of the slightest moment.
Marilla doesn't stop playing.
And this hand reaches for you, Marilla. And suddenly from behind you, the brightest light any of you guys have seen grabs this thing's wrist. And you guys just hear the softest, almost angelic voice, but one familiar to all of you, as it says, "You leave my bluebird alone." And with that, we're going to call it a night.
Oh! Holy fuck.
Good session, guys. Good session. So yes, that is where we're going to call it for the night. Thank you guys for that were watching, for sticking with us. This is usually the part of the night. I'm going to stop the eerie music is what I'm going to do, because that, honest question, because I just started getting into using the music. Did it help tonight? I kind of felt like it set the tone real quick.
Oh, I love the music. It always immerses you.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so here at the end of the night is when we usually do a what's going on in the Nexus. I will say, Tim, I hope everything is all right with you. He had to go. He came in late. They had a little bit of a family emergency type thing, so hope everything is all right. He said it was minor, so here's hoping. Tim, hope everything works out well. But here in the Nexus, to say what else we got going on, Nexus specific. The next time you can see something going on in the Nexus is Monday, which we got some news about Shattered Awakenings. Our Shattered Awakenings family has grown a little bit, so that now we are going to be welcoming two that are present here, Miss Selkie and Miss Nerdy Pinup Girl are coming over to Shattered Awakenings with a pair of characters that I think are going to be truly, truly unhinged.
I'm so excited.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous. And those two energy, if y'all thought it was fun tonight, I think it's going to, those two, I just really look forward to your guys' energy together, regardless of the specifics of the relationship. You guys just have awesome energy. I'm looking forward to it. But again, that is Shattered Awakenings that you can come and watch Mondays here. We kick that off at 8 p.m. Central, which is 6 p.m. Pacific. But yes, you can come watch that. That is every week on Monday. And then on Wednesdays, you can come and see Mr. Morell over there, Mr. Moore Drunkenblade. He DMs a group and a campaign called Kinship's Destiny. It was a pretty fun session last time. Choices were made, and the fact that they got resolved a little bit, it was fun to watch. But that is every Wednesday. Same thing, 8 p.m. Central. Come tune into that. Other than that, what else do we got going on? Taylor, you got anything going on in the To Be Diced world?
So I believe for next week we have our usual Tuesday Star Wars game with Teddy Tarzan 82855. And if you guys ever want to play any Star Wars games with him, he is doing DMing, and he would be happy to have you guys at his online table. If you guys want to get the hang of the game, he has some pre-made characters y'all can use, so y'all can learn, and it's so much fun. And who doesn't want to play pretend Star Wars? Now, for this upcoming Thursday, we have our wonderful Tales of Arden featuring one of my favorite characters, Grendel Fialova, my 7-foot-tall muscle mommy, and we're happy to have them back. And I believe on Sunday, Lily may, and I could be wrong. It might be this Sunday or it's next Sunday. I believe Lily is running another La La Lily Land one shot. And I believe that is what is on the docket for To Be Diced.
Beautiful. Wonderful. We always like to share the success with the other streams we got going on. I found Taylor connected with To Be Diced. I got to play for a little bit with KJ and Matt, War-Torn Knight over there. Wonderful people. I miss both of them very much. Unfortunately, work took them away from us a little too soon, but hey, it happens.
Too long.
I know. I miss them both so much. But that is what we got going on in the world. Unless anybody else has anything else they wish to share. Selkie, I am very glad that you made it tonight. I know that you are not feeling 100%, but I am so glad that you made it.
I'll think of you when I put
This girl is a fucking champ. She just had surgery yesterday, but she was like, "Nah, bitch, I ain't missing this shit."
Nope. Keeps me going.
She's a fucking trooper, dude.
Hey, as someone who has also done it, Selkie, playing D&D on painkillers is so much fun.
You should try microdosing on acid when you're doing it. Or, sorry, shrooms.
Boom.
That is also hilarious, but that's how your character ends up pregnant.
Fucking
Anyway.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
Boom,
All right.
and success.
But without anything else, thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate you guys that stick with us through the whole time. We love you. You can come back here and see what happens next with Golden Ghost 2 weeks from today. Otherwise, we will see you guys on Mondays, on Wednesdays, whenever you can make it. Thank you guys for coming. Taylor, what's our sign off again? You do it better than I do.
Make good choices. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, have fun doing it, and don't get caught, or you'll end up in prison. And I can't afford bail. I'm sorry. So fucking work
true.
that shit out, will ya?
Work that shit out. All right. Love you, everybody. Good night.